So this past Saturday, I beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I gotta say, it is leagues better than Remake. I don't even know where to begin. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I wish I could literally break down each individual chapter and just describe all of my favorite points and why they're my favorite points, but we would literally be here for like 2 hours because there's just so much. First of all, I just want to say I freaking knew that we were in some type of like time dilation, like timeline thing going on because keep in mind, for context, there was people in my comments on the Final Fantasy VII Remake video that I dropped a while ago saying how I should play Crisis Core after because apparently there would be a lot of like big plot points that would get spoiled for me. But I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for me playing Crisis Core before hopping on Rebirth, literally the second half of the game would not have meant as much to me as it did. Like, just for spoilers, in case you guys haven't even played Crisis Core, which is kind of crazy. Dude, it's been out for like 18 years on the PSP, and then you could play the PC port that came out like 4 years ago. But anyways, like, first of all, beginning of the game, right? After you finish your part with Zack, which honestly, that kind of was the dead giveaway for the alternate timeline thing going on. After you play that part with Zack, you kind of follow Cloud because he's narrating what happened in Nibelheim that basically kickstarted Sephiroth, being who he is currently. Now, I was going along with it, but I was like, wait a minute. This is literally what Zack did, like word for word, bar for bar. And not even just that, but if you look at the other like uniformed soldiers that were with Sephiroth and Cloud, it's literally the same model that they used for Crisis Core. Like Cloud is literally there. Also, too, another dead giveaway was when I played Crisis Core. Obviously, you saw Genova, you fought blah blah blah, with Sephiroth in that cutscene and all that. It was 1-to-1. So I was like, okay, this is a nice start. There's obviously, introducing the amnesia and the identity issues that Cloud has. Because if you guys don't know, at the end of Crisis Core, Zack asked Cloud to basically take on his dreams and live through him. So in a way, Cloud kind of took it as a way of like kind of inheriting Zack's identity and his dreams altogether. I'm jumping back and forth, by the way, but in a way that kind of supports how Cloud has feelings for Aerith. I think Cloud himself has certain feelings for Aerith, but because he took on Zack's identity, I feel like it added more to his emotions and feelings towards Aerith. Because when Zack was running away, like from Shinra, because at that point they were branded as traitors, he was taking care of Cloud, and basically all he was talking about to him was all his memories that he had with his friends and how much he loved or how pretty he thought, what his feelings were for Aerith. So I think that also supports that argument. But if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go back to the beginning, right? I'm jumping around a lot. This game is insane. Like I said, you were following Cloud, which was really just Zack shoes, but Cloud kind of like self-inserted himself. It's weird to me because Tifa was there, and the fact that Cloud was explaining all of this, Tifa never called him out on his lies is a little weird. I don't know. Maybe I was too into the moment towards the end of the game because Cloud did acknowledge why. I mean, not why, but like he acknowledged that she lied about the events and going along with what he was saying before. But my also thing is that she knows that quote unquote Cloud wasn't there. But why didn't she question how he knew so much that happened over there, considering he wasn't there? Because if you guys don't know, Cloud wanted to basically not show himself when he went to Nibelheim because he wasn't ready to, I guess, show himself, or I guess he wanted to be an actual hero before he came back so he could, at least prove himself because that's what he promised. He was going to become a hero and save Tifa. That was very dense, what I just went through right now. But another thing I want to talk about, how quick the first half of the game is. I made that video how I went to chapter 8 within like 20 hours or something like that. Not even. I think I did it even less time. I don't even remember. I remember going all the way to chapter 8, chapter 9 very quickly. But bro, the second half of the game, I think it was what, like chapter 10, chapter 11, after you finish the golden saucer area, and you actually have to go and find whoever like shot up the Shinra people. Bro, that second half of the game is so dense with story, because leading up, you're kind of focusing on like the relationship between the whole party and all that. It's still kind of introducing the story and all the characters, but it's more kind of building on to Tifa's relationship with Cloud. It gets better in the second half, but they're kind of like building onto that relationship. And they're kind of also sneaking Aerith's relationship into that, along with, bouncing back and forth with Zack in the alternate world, which was amazing, by the way. I feel like we should have gotten way more than what we gotten. Yeah, that second half of the game is so dense. And I loved how they portrayed Barrett's backstory and his relationship with, I think his name was Dine or Dean. But man, that was seeing that in like HD graphics was really, really a hard watch. Cause that was so sad. And the fact that Marlene too, oh man, Marlene is still waiting for Barrett to come back home. It makes me so sad. And you know what's funny too? In the beginning when we first met Yuffie, I was telling my girlfriend this because she was watching me play, but I feel like Yuffie started to grow on Barrett regardless of how many times she was fucking up for the party. I feel like in a way she was growing on him because she kind of resembles Yuffie in a way. You know what I mean? I know Barrett isn't against Wu Tai because considering they're against Shinra, he kind of is like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of guy. I feel like he has a connection of Yuffie and Marlene. And it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Oh man, maybe it's a theory. It's a game theory, right? Having to learn Barrett's backstory and then eventually meeting Sid, which was really cool. But I won't lie. I think after I posted that video of doing all of the like surrounding objectives in the open world, I literally stopped doing those because it was so tedious. But I'm glad that I went ahead and did the rest of the game because now I found out that they have chapter selection. So I can literally go back to whatever chapter I want and just be able to do those objectives and be able to get the achievements that I want. Lucky enough, I only need like 12 more achievements or 11 more achievements to platinum the game, which is honestly not that hard. I think I got the hardest like achievements out of the way, considering they're just like mini games and all that. I think I need to play like 6 more Queen's Blood games because I skipped all of that. But I did the sit up challenge. I did all the boardwalk stuff at Costa del Sol. And what else? Oh man, I think I'm blanking. I did the board games. I did the one where they changed Cloud and Barrett into their original designs, and also Tifa. I finished that one. Played it on hard. I beat that. Yeah, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I just want to digest the main story. I don't want to do any more of these side quests. They're cool. I feel like they're a lot better than the first game. I felt like the first game had a little bit more of like fetchiness to them. Definitely in this second game, the side quests were a lot more digestible, but there was so much more. Going back to what I was saying, where I wanted to digest just the main story, I didn't realize that you have to get the chocobo, like what I forgot what it's called, the chocobo stables, every location that you go to. So I was going to these other places, trying to rush through them, just running everywhere to the main objective. It was a pain. I'm also gonna jump around here because I'm forgetting the timeline of things. The reason why I believe you should play the reason why you should play Crisis Core before playing Rebirth, like I said before, there was so many things in the second half of the game that wouldn't have meant as much to me as it did if I didn't play Crisis Core. In the main part, I want to point out is where we go to Gungaga. Bro, there was so much to unpack there. I mean, we met Cisne, by the way, day one homegirl. All right. I'm surprised that they didn't elaborate on her character more, cuz she's honestly such a goated character. And it oh man, I hope they do more with her character in part 3, whatever, coming out in like a year or two, whatever they plan on releasing that. I hope they elaborate more on her character, cuz man, she was so goated in Crisis Core. Y'all don't even know, bro. To talk about another Turk, right? Cuz Cisne was a former Turk. She quit because she was cool with Zack. I'm pretty sure she left herself behind and left the Turks so she could take care of Gungaga and also watch after Zack's parents. Song, what are you doing? You were so cool in Crisis Core, and now you're just a sellout. Like this, bro. This guy was actually like likable, Mr. 50-inch bust down. Like the only person you're in competition with is Sephiroth. But like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what it is in remake song, whatever. He didn't really do much for me. I didn't really care about him, but I played Crisis Core and I was like, wow, Song is actually really likable. And I'm surprised he even turned out the way he was in Rebirth because of how he was in Crisis Core. Guy's an asshole. This he's so flippy floppy. Maybe it's the fact that he has to follow his orders as a Turk, but like, man, bro, you got a choice. You have a choice. We saw it with Cisne. You have a choice. Coming back to Gungaga, Aerith meeting Zack's parents. Oh man, that was a hard watch. That was a hard watch. Oh man, I wish so much more could have been said there. And the fact that they're like, you must have been the girl that Zack was talking about to Aerith, and she was like, a charming guy like Zack. I wouldn't be surprised if I was the only one. Girl, you were the only one. 89 or 88 letters, by the way. 88 letters. It pains me to say it every time. It just they are actually my Roman Empire. Zack and Aerith are my Roman Empire. I know the scene otherwise at the end of the game kind of like, "Oh, yay, Cloud and Aerith." I'm sorry, bro. As good as they look, Zack and Aerith. Oh man, that's another thing too. When Zack was in the other world and Marlene was talking to him next to Aerith's bed, and she was like, Aerith has feelings for Cloud. Oh man, I never wanted to punch a kid so bad in their fucking face. Oh man, I was like, Zack, it's okay, bro. I wanted to be right next to Zack and just pat his back for him, because oh man, to hear that about the person you love liking somebody else, that's rough. I'm so glad Zack is who he is because he took it like a good sport. And it's all also too, to add on to that, where Biggs went to the reactor to bomb it, and Zack was on the motorcycle choosing whether to get the cure for the Mako poisoning that Cloud was suffering through or to go to Biggs. I found that so fucking cool that he chose to cure Cloud from his Mako poisoning instead of choosing Biggs. I mean, given we saw Zack go to the cure shit and all that, fight everybody, and then we also saw him talk to Biggs after, which looks like that he chose Biggs. But I'm not gonna lie, I think that was just alternate timeline stuff right there. I think there was two Zacks that chose two different pathways. One chose to cure Cloud, and another one chose to go after Biggs first. I also think that's why Cloud and Aerith woke up in that other world, because he cured the Mako poisoning, or at least I think. It could also be because they got separated from Sephiroth when they were fighting over the black materia. They fell in that pit, and I want to take a wild guess. Oh man, I'm mixing everything up. I'm mixing everything up, but I know Aerith was the trigger to go into the other world, and it's so crazy how she knew it was the end for her, literally in remake. And she told only Marlene. And then Marlene was telling Zack, the man with the 50-inch gray bust down, he's gonna kill Aerith, and Cloud is the only one that could save her. Or at least if Cloud's not okay, he's not gonna be able to save her. Ah man, this game is so good. Having to go through all that pain again, watching Aerith die again, was so sad. And also too, I want to add on to this. I think the Aerith that helped Cloud in the end fight with Sephiroth after she died, I think that was an alternate timeline Aerith, which leads me to believe that maybe if they follow a different route, because they've changed some things in these two remakes or remakes, I'm led to believe that Aerith will come from an alternate timeline to help Cloud and Zack again beat Sephiroth, or like beat the Meteor. Because if you were paying attention to the fight, when everybody was separated into their own little groups fighting the Genova mutation thing, or like Sephiroth, you can see how at the same time Cloud and Aerith were fighting Sephiroth's like mutated form, we were basically bouncing to, like, let's say Red, Barrett, and Kate Sith. They were also fighting Sephiroth, and Cloud and Aerith would do a thing where like it would cut off a wing, and then when you bounce back to Barrett and his squad, you would see that the wing would get injured or like cut off at the same time. Then let's say you shot, I don't know, the orb that was in his like stomach area for Sephiroth, right? When you shot that off, you would bounce back to like Tifa, Red 13, and Yuffie, right? And you would see that the middle area got weakened, so you would be able to like take out the other like the claws or something like that, right? Like stuff like that. I feel like at that moment they were literally in between the overlapping worlds. It was, oh man, it's such a mind-blowing experience. I don't even know where to like pinpoint anything. But I truly do believe that if they go a different route for this third game, I do believe Aerith will make a comeback. And not just as like I guess you could say like a live stream projection, because only Cloud can see Aerith, but I'm pretty sure others can feel her, like we saw with Red 13. I feel like she's going to be more than just a projection. I feel like Cloud is able to see Aerith because she's part of the live stream and also etc., but because she's still alive in other timelines. Like Sephiroth hasn't gotten to her yet. And I'm led to believe that because Ifalna was a full Cetra, because Aerith is a half Cetra, but why wasn't Aerith able to see her mother? Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself, but that's just what I think. But yeah, man, I really think the climax of this game, or at least like the rising point of it, was when Kate Sith stole that black materia in that Colosseum mission when we were fighting Don Corneo and all that. Because, man, everything after that just went downhill. It was just insane. I mean, I'm glad I got to see Reno again. That's the homie. I love Reno. He's funny as fuck. I think he's underrated, honestly. I really wish the game didn't end as early as it did. I think I put like 55 hours, which honestly is on the lower end. If you were gonna do everything, I feel like 55 hours is on the lower end of how much I played. But I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to get to the story so I could play another game, which I will talk about in a future video. But man, God, the fucking game is so good. And you know what's funny too? I knew Kate Sith was gonna do some fuck shit too, cause his combat is so boring and I don't like it. Like, he is my least favorite out of the whole group to play with. Yuffie was like my top 3. Yuffie was top 3 for me. Barrett's always good. Tifa's always good, and then obviously Cloud, you main. But like, oh man, it was so good. I really wish we did get more out of that game, as dense as it was for the second half, just because I can't get enough of Final Fantasy, bro. And you know what's funny too? I know they had Advent Children kind of like its own thing. I think what was it, a movie or some shit like that, or like it was definitely an animation of some sort. But I'm not gonna lie, if they had Advent Children as like its own spin-off game, which they're never gonna do, by the way, that'd be pretty fire. Because honestly, if they did do an Advent Children's game, it's gonna be so much more darker, like as a theme, because this is like after the events of all 3 Final Fantasy 7 games that we're gonna get, and then all of our characters are all grown up. Marlene's like a teenager or some shit like that, or like a preteen or some shit, and then we just meet new characters, oh man, my boy Reno's still in it too. But man, please, bro, let me get more of Zack. I feel like we didn't get enough of Zack in this game, and the fact that you took away his combat mechanic of the DMZ. What are we doing? Give him back give him back the slot machine mechanic, bro, please. But yeah, other than that music was amazing, bro. I tried so hard to listen to the music, but every single cutscene and pre-rendered cinematic that they had was such a spectacle. It was so hard to pay attention to the music because I just wanted to appreciate what was on my screen. Aerith, I don't know what kind of crack they put in that animation department, but bro, she was so beautiful in every single cutscene she was in. Especially that one thing where you go back to the golden saucer and you go through that like VR play thing and she has her hair down and she's singing. Oh, beautiful. Honestly, I could rewatch that as many times as the game will let me. And also too, just to put a little bit of pain in your guys' hearts. I picked Tifa. I do believe, even though I'm a ride or die Aerith fan, I do believe Cloud belongs with Tifa at the end of the day. So I had to go on the date with her. It was worth it. I got my well-deserved kiss from them. Oh, it was beautiful. I really wish this game was longer. I'm actually gonna use the Mako live stream right now. I'm actually a different Nate. You could tell because I don't have a pink shirt anymore. Before I end this video, I do want to talk about the main point of why I made this video, of why did it not win, or why did it get nominated for the Game of the Year. And I'm not gonna lie, it was an amazing game. Out of the Game of the Year nominees that I have played, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the closest one that I feel like could have won Game of the Year. But it didn't. Because at the end of the day, the Game of the Year is supposed to be a game that pushes the boundaries and standards of gaming in general. All right. So for Astrobot to win over Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that has to be some kind of testament as to how good that game is. So as I can see why people were mad this didn't win, I can also understand why it didn't win. As amazing as the story is, ask yourself, did it really change anything? Did it really change the boundaries of gaming as a whole? I'll leave that to you. But I'll let the original timeline Nate finish this video now. But yeah, anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because for me, beautiful game. Let me cut to the chase before you guys get mad at me in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.